Yes, back on Project Freebie, and welcome back to Resto Designs, guys. And we're back on Project Freebie today. So if you haven't been keeping up with Project Freebie, we're on part 9 now. And as you can see, I've got a few little extra bits and pieces. Like I've got a set of 16 valve clocks, and they're actually C1. They're from the old style Phase 1 or Mark 1 or Type 19 Mark 2 Golf. And I did some wiring conversions to match the C2 fuse box. That was in the last video. The link might be up here somewhere. Yep, to watch that video. Also, I've had my first product, which is a pollen filter, which is under there. So that's pretty cool. Again, it's in the last video if you're interested, and there'll also be a link to my Facebook page where you can message me. And if you want that pollen filter kit, I will deliver that almost all over the world. And what we're on to today, yes, today we're going to be on doing these little bits and pieces that need to be done, like the power steering line needs to be secured properly. I need to make up a little bracket for the gear selector. There's normally 3 kind of M8 Allen key bolts that hold that in place. There's only 2. I need to make a 3rd one up, a little kind of L bracket off the gearbox. The fuel lines, I need to kind of have little dividers on them so it secures them so they're not chafing or causing any issues there. And also I'm going to kind of maybe have a quick look at as well also the breather, because I have started to push it a little bit and I've noticed the breather obviously is going to start sweating. So I'm going to need to make up a catch tank system, but I won't do that in this video. I'll probably just look into that and we'll probably tackle that in the next video. As well as I'm going to do some mapping as well. I set some AFR targets, and with the Mega Squirt you can do kind of some self mapping with that, and just switch that on. I'm going to show you guys that, and that's what's going to be covered in today's video, but that'll be towards the end of the video. All right guys, let's get on and do these little bits and pieces. This is probably just going to take about 5 minutes, and then we'll get on to other little bits and pieces with the mapping. I think this has been painted and it's kind of come through. I think I've actually just put some normal primer under there, so it's looking a bit poor. So I've actually got a much better one to replace that with, so I might as well do that now as well while I'm doing these little bits and pieces. So that definitely looks a lot better than what was there. Now I need to get the rest of the trims up to that spec, but obviously I'll do that when the bodywork gets done, but at least I've got now, it looks tidier with that on there. Okay, so it wasn't so bad. I just shortened the pipe slightly, and then actually just to make sure I put a cable tie on there as well, so it's not actually chafing or causing me any, so it won't cause me any future issues. Better to be safe than sorry. And there's the extra bolt that was missing, so I made a little L bracket. There's nothing really to show you, just bent up a little bit of metal, got it on there, welded a nut on the bottom, and was able to secure that on. It's more or less more of the same with the fuel lines. I went through my box of clips and trips and bits and clips and whatever you want to call it, grommets, and I found a couple of these so they can actually secure them one to one another and also separate them. I've added 2, one here, one at the back. While we're here in this area, I will actually mention my second product that I'm going to be producing is actually going to be specific to Mark 2s and ABFs, and I'm going to be actually producing a top airbox cover, so basically the top half of the airbox, which is going to have printed into it the location for the air temp sensor, as well as it's going to have a velocity stack actually inside. Because this airbox is from a GTD, a diesel 1.6 turbo, it's just got very kind of crude shape going into it, so I'm actually going to print inside it a velocity stack to hopefully improve airflow. But I will also test this on a rolling road once we're at that point of the cars all running and get that done, but that is actually in development at the moment. Option is also, I'm probably going to develop a snorkel at the front of it that is larger, much like the VR6 of the Corrado, so it's kind of the largest possible one, as well as also maybe even incorporates the cowling around the back of the headlight. Let's see. First things first, developing this at the moment. I'm gonna do some test prints and they should be done hopefully within the next few weeks, and I can test that and show you guys the development of this, so that's gonna be quite interesting as well. There's loads to come up with products for the Mark 2 Golf and ABF projects and bits and bobs. Now I've just removed the grille to have a little look at a catch tank, or what potentially I might use as a catch can to kind of catch the oil. And let me see if that works. I'm just gonna see if it mounts, if it kind of clears here. So here we have the catch tan that I'm gonna be using. It's an old school one from All Smiles for you guys who are old enough to remember. And basically, so what this is that's gonna be in, out, and return to the sump. And what I've done is also I've filled it full of wire wool, as you can see in there, so it acts like a filter. And that's it. I put an O-ring on the cap. And like I said, I've made the bracket for it already, just bolt it on, and hopefully that'll work a treat. Right, so I've plumbed it in, and I've just blocked off the return so that it doesn't leak out. But at a later stage, I'm gonna take the sump off, take the dipstick off. I'm also gonna put a windage tray in to stop the splash. I should have done that originally when I actually put the engine together, but it was short-sightedness of me. I should have put the windage tray. But anyway, so made a little bracket for it, secure right there. And so it comes off the breather, it comes off the block. Like I said, goes into the middle one, and then the other one just goes back to return, so I get no nasty smells and stuff. Potentially at a later stage, I might actually just breathe it off into atmosphere, so it doesn't actually go into, you know, because the vapor that comes off the oil does actually knock down the octane rating of the fuel, so I could run into some depth problems. But at the moment, that's how I'm going to do it until I've actually got the return. Then once the return is in, then I'll mess around with a few variations of just having it vented off to atmosphere. Now today, I'm going to start doing some of the fuel map. I'm going to do the self-learning on the Mega Squirt, just literally just turn it on and just cruise around. I've got like a little routine that has got some motorway cruising, and then you come off the junction, turn around, and come back up again. And it isn't an easy turn, so there's actually kind of quite a nice variation of driving styles, cruising and, you know, accelerating, going through the gears, as well as it's also uphill as well, so I can actually then put some load in and kind of stay in the block for quite a while to let it adjust, which is, you know, ideal to kind of try and simulate in different gears, going up that hill in different RPMs to kind of get the fuel as close as I can get it. So that basically covers it for today, guys. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, ding-a-ling-a-ling, click on that notification bell, and be safe.